The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 125. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of outstanding women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out amazing blog articles and our killer resources. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady all the way from the Midwest. She's from Indiana. She is a serial entrepreneur, so, I'm really grateful to have her on and share her story today. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Liz Nierzwicki. Liz, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
I'm doing great. I am just cranking out a lot of stuff today. I've got so much going on, and so it's nice to just kind of sit down and take a break and talk about confidence. I love your topic, so I'm excited to talk about this today. Well, I've started multiple businesses. I went to Indiana University, so I'll kind of go back that far. I went to Indiana University for nutrition science and psychology. And then once I completed those, I actually went into the business school, and I went to Finland, studied international marketing, and came back and, got my degree in business and marketing and my undergrads in nutrition science and psychology. And I worked in the corporate world for a long time and always did things on the side. I was, really young at 18. I sold Party Light candles. I sold Mary Kay cosmetics. I then started a mobile closing company for mortgage brokers. They need notaries and they need people to close their loans. So I created a company when I lived in St. Louis, and I had a couple people working underneath me, and we closed loans for mortgage brokers. And then I moved back to Indiana and worked once again in the corporate world, but started to really go full force towards the things that really keep me healthy and passionate. I'm always passionate about being healthy and taking care of my body. I believe that it's our holy home and it's an absolute blessing, and we need to take care of it. So I've always worked out. I've always tried to eat healthy, even though sometimes, old things from childhood, old habits die hard, I guess. But over the years, I've really moved into a path of life that's super healthy, very focused on feeding my body the best foods available and taking care of my mind and really creating balance. Because as an entrepreneur, it's hard when you have so much going on, and you really have to focus on keeping yourself healthy, your mind healthy, and your body healthy. So I actually went to teacher training for yoga because I simply loved the benefits of what yoga made me feel like. And, as a single mom and in a very hectic business world, I was, you're always kind of frantic and stressed out, especially with a high demanding job. So I found this really awesome way to relieve stress, and it was very tangible, like you can feel it. So in my small town, we needed a yoga studio. So I started thinking about, all right, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm going big. I'm going to do a brick and mortar store, and this is what I'm going to do. So I started to develop the business in 2010, and I opened my doors in January 2011, and it's been going great ever since. And then I've created other businesses after that. I created an online lifestyle program called figureFIT. And this program really incorporates everything that I love and everything that has always worked for me, from weight training workouts to high-intense interval training workouts to eating the right foods and to meditation and reading books. So all of that is incorporated in my online program. My members they pay a monthly fee, and they have access to the figureFIT website, where it has monthly workouts, and they change every month. And they have meditations, a nutrition manual, a food list, shopping guides, recipes, workouts, yoga videos, you name it, it's all there. It's a complete, comprehensive lifestyle program online where people have access to all of that. In the last year and a half, I wrote a book, and it recently launched on Amazon on Kindle and became an international bestseller in 2 days, which is, still unreal to me that I have an international best-selling book. It's so exciting, and it's really fantastic when I start to hear from people that are, reading my book and it's helping them. It's helping them to maybe break an old habit or change a story that they told themselves that's keeping them stuck in a negative habit and therefore not allowing them to live a healthy life. And that's my recent adventure. And I'm in the process of creating with my team, the book launch and the book tour. And also on top of that, I have other things that are coming up, which I'm really excited about. I'll be moving into some entrepreneurial coaching and possibly even another podcast of my own. I have a podcast myself, and it's called the figureFIT Lifestyle Program, and that's on iTunes as well. And so I'm just super busy, and it's really fun when it's what you love, when you love to do it. I definitely have learned so much about what I would do differently. And that is what I want to teach people. Is I want to teach people, if I would have known this then I probably wouldn't have done this. So that's definitely an area where I think that giving back and helping people is the most rewarding thing. And it just really helps the whole world as a whole evolve and move forward.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. If I ever have to look up the definition of serial entrepreneur, I'm just going to look you up.
No kidding.
So, amazing. Congrats on all those accomplishments. And being a single mom too, it's like, I'm sure our listeners are like, how do you do it? Right? So,
yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. And Liz, what's your cultural background?
My grandmother was from Scandinavia. So she was Norwegian, and my grandfather was German. And my last name is actually Polish, which I don't have any Polish in my history, in my ancestry whatsoever. So I'm actually Norwegian and German. And so that's who I am. That's where I came from.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that tidbit. And, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Oh, well, so there's so many. I think my number one is I am not here to play small. I definitely believe in my mission, and it took me a while to get here. I think we go through so much in life, and we tend to question things that have happened to us. But when you really do some deep reflection and you really look at your mission, your why, your purpose, and what you want to leave as your legacy, and you can really just sit and look at your history and look at it and go, really, you have to look at it. You can't run away from it. And when you do that, it helps you to have confidence in where you've been and where you've come from and what you've gone through to get you to where you are. And that is not something to play down. It's created you as to who you are today. And it's always so important. So I love the quote, I am not here to play small. It came to me one day in a meditation because I was having some fear around doing some next level things, and fear only keeps us back. It only keeps us stuck. And so that came to me like, lady, you are not here to play small. It's time to go big.
I love it. I love that quote. And it's true, right? So many people out there are playing small because they're so scared of the unknown. They're not sure what's going to happen. But there's a beauty to that, right? Because anything is possible, right? Anything's possible. So great quote. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I would say that self-confidence is, being like kind of along the lines of what I just said, is looking at your life and understanding that above and beyond anything, you have a purpose. Your life is totally not a mistake. And speaking of that, I was a mistake by my parents. They did not plan to have me. Actually, the condom fell off. So out of everyone in this whole wide world, I was a total mistake. And some people could be told something like that and really let doubt and insecurity creep into their life. But I feel like, no way, my soul had a mission. It was like, I'm coming whether you want me or not. And that's really what I believe, that we are here. We have a purpose, and it's really important for us to go within and start to identify the things that really drive us and really make our heart skip a beat. And that's what we need to pursue, those passions. And because that's what's really going to give you that happy life when you pursue those things.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And I don't think you're a mistake. I'm sure the universe wanted you here for a reason. And with all the accomplishments, I mean, you're here changing lives every day. So, it's amazing what you've done. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I've always been pretty self-confident, I have to say. I did get picked on a lot when I was a kid, so that actually hampered with my ability that still keeps me stuck. Sometimes I still deal with that because I was picked on. And so sometimes I have a fear of being made fun of, I guess, or ridiculed. And because that's what happened when I was little, I would always get ridiculed over the dumbest little things. And there's that part of me, I think that people either have certain characteristics. And I think for me, I definitely have a rebellious characteristic that's like, oh, well, if you don't think I can do that, well, just watch me. I'll do it and I'll show you that I can do it. Or I don't really take picking on and I don't like that when people pick on other people, or if people just are mean for no reason. It's one of those things that I really just do not tolerate at all. So for me personally, with self-confidence, I've always pretty much had self-confidence, but I think as you get older and you really go through experiences in life, you put yourself out there and I like to say you win. And it's not necessarily that you win anything. It's just that you win because you put yourself out there and you've accomplished something. And so whenever I do that, whenever I get uncomfortable and I put myself out there and it pays off, then I look back and it's like I give my month-old self a high five and be like, you know what, girlfriend, you just did it. You rocked it and you did it. You had a feeling, you went after it and you did it. And I really believe that by understanding your why and your mission and then going after your dreams and really getting uncomfortable is part of that whole process. And because people don't like to get uncomfortable, and I'm one of those people, I don't like to necessarily get uncomfortable, but you do not change when you're in your comfort zone. You will never grow if you do not do something different, big, and get yourself out there. And so I feel that is really truly how you grow and you build more self-confidence is by taking action.
And it's true, right? Like, nobody likes to be uncomfortable. I mean, I don't like it either, but I'm willing to do it to get to the other side, right? To become stronger and to move on and to, show other people what's possible, right? I mean, I remember when I first started, just being in my journey, doing a video, like, scared the hell out of me. And it would, make me like all scared and stuttery and like sweaty palms. But I kept on doing it anyways until I can cut a video and just be okay with it. So it really just is just getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and it'll help you in so many ways. So, when you realize just putting yourself out there, taking action, what's your life been now?
Like I said earlier, I have so much going on. And I'm at a place right now where I am in a mega growth position. And I look back at my life and I go, okay, I got myself here. And I wanted all of this because I've done all of this to get me here. However, it's not serving me right now because I am overwhelmed and I have too much going on. So I'm now in the process of really kind of bringing the reins in, identifying my processes, taking care of what needs to be done in order to bring someone on to show them my processes so somebody else can do the things that I don't need to be doing. And so that is a big part of where I'm at right now. And I know that sometimes you just have to put the brakes on to contain everything and to really identify exactly what a position looks like. Because right now I'm literally doing, I have a little bit of help with a couple of people, but I am doing everything from accounting to marketing to all of the content creation, the talent for the shows or my own recordings. And then I'm the brains behind my blogs. And I know that you can only do so much before you just kind of, fizzle out. And I've been in this place of burnout for a while, and that's not a good place to be. So what do you got to do? You got to look at what you're doing. You got to look at what's gotten you there. You got to identify the places where somebody else can do the work that you don't need to be doing. And then you need to do the work that only you can do. And that's where I'm at. And it's been It's been really fun and also very scary, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, it's risky. Do I really have the funds to be able to pay for someone else's full-time position? And that is I'm talking about my online business. With my yoga studio, I have 7 employees. So that's a brick and mortar store. That is a totally different ballgame than an online business. And I have both. And so I feel like with my brick and mortar store, with my yoga studio, that is a business model that it's fantastic. It's working really well. And, I've got a team of people there that are helping me. The whole online and personal branding is totally different. It's just completely different. And then with the amount of social media that is happening in the world today, it's crazy. It drives me crazy. And, when I started my yoga studio, all we had was Facebook, and now there's Pinterest and Instagram and Periscope and Twitter, and there's just everything. And, in a way, you do have to find a way to be in all those places and not lose your mind, especially if you have an online business. So the online thing is so different than having a brick and mortar store, and I have both. So that alone is really difficult sometimes to manage that. But luckily, I've gotten some really amazing people on my team at my yoga studio, and I call them my angel team. And because I literally pray for them, I pray. I say, okay, universe, I need you to deliver me somebody who can help me with this. And guess what? The universe always does. So that's why I started calling them my angel team, because literally they're like a gift. Like, here you go. You just prayed for this, and now here's this person who can do this for you. And it's fantastic. So I love that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, online and offline is like totally different things. But the best thing is like there's always room to grow and learn new things and find talent that can do the things for you. So, thanks for sharing that. And Liz, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be, on her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I would say that it all begins with self-love. Because if you do not love yourself, you are going to be putting your love in all the wrong places. And I really did that the hard way. We grew up in a society that very, very much values a relationship over self-worth. And it's not that it really values that. It's just that's what's preached to us. That's what's sold to us in every movie. There's always a love story. And it drives me crazy because not in every story is there a love story. There's so many great stories in the world that have nothing to do with love. Like a romantic relationship is what I mean. And so for most people, they grow up thinking that they need another person, that they're completed when they're whole in a relationship. And there's nothing could be further from the truth than that your self-confidence comes in your own self-love and your own self-worth. And when you fully love yourself and you know how amazing you are and how gifted you are, and you know these things, then you can give yourself to a relationship. And I really believe that that's where it starts, is with self-love.
I totally agree on you with that. Like, self-love is the number one thing when it comes to self-confidence, right? Gotta love yourself, because, how you perceive yourself or how you love yourself attracts everything else in your life. So great tip. Thanks for sharing that. And if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Oh, absolutely. My handle is always at Liz Nierzwicki, and my last name's kind of hard, so I'll spell it. It's Nierz as in zebra, Wicki. So I'm at Liz Nierzwicki on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And then I also have all of my businesses out there as well. So figureFIT, Solace Yoga Studio. I also created another business recently called Inspire Tats, Tats. Those are inspirational tattoos that you wear in your arm. And my website that most people go to, my figurefitlife.com is my website that most people who, whether they're in the United States or international, they can go to that website, because that is where I service people all over the world, is through figurefitlife.com. And you can get on my newsletter and find out what's going on with the online programs. I will be launching liznierzwicki.com here shortly. And that one's going to focus more on helping people to develop their own spiritual practice, their own self-love, and also entrepreneurial coaching and also my books, because I have one book out that's called Happy Healthy Fit, and that's on Amazon. And I have other books that I'm writing right now that really have a lot to do with what we talked about today: self-confidence, self-love, and helping people to really understand their self-worth and create a life that they love. And that will be coming through LizNierzwicki.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all of that. I'm sure our listeners will love to check everything out. And to the listeners, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Liz's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else. And I just want to thank Liz for, taking the time out of her busy schedule to share her story with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Awesome. It was a pleasure having you on. And to the listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you for connecting with us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more.